Busy Saturday in the state line for the second round of high school football playoffs. Let's hop right into the highlights to find out who's moving on and who's going home. Starting out with a local matchup between the number 5 ranked 8-2 Dupec Rivermen and number 13 ranked Stillman Valley. On Dupec's first play of their drive, quarterback Cooper Hoffman keeps it, does a quick juke, but is able to find a clear path and outrun some Cardinals defenders. He brings it 62 yards to the house for the Rivermen Tutty to get on the board first. Stillman able to answer on their next drive when Braden Rogers muscles it in to get the Cardinals on the board, even game. Now it's the Rivermen's turn shortly after they hand it off to Jalen Nowd, who sees an open right field to find the back of the end zone untouched. 14-7 Rivermen. The Cardinals battle and answer again when they run it up the middle for another score, 14-13. But get this, at halftime the Cardinals led 19-14, but the Rivermen scored 5 unanswered touchdowns in the second half to convincingly win it 50-19. Dupec will take on the number 1 seed Byron next week for their first quarterfinals appearance in Dupec program history. Heading over to Lena for a rivalry showdown where the reigning Class 1A state champs Lena Winslow hosted their foe Forreston Cardinals. Lewin has leading 22-6 at half, and 17 seconds into the second half, Gage Dunker breaks out, finds a gap with some nice blocking from the O-line. Dunker gets to a wide open left field to run it 68 yards all the way. Panthers would be good for the 2-point conversion. They would lead 30-6. Shortly after, it's handed to Dunker again, who runs it all the way down the right field sideline for 40 yards. America runs on Dunker. Lewin leads 38-6. Forreston looking to answer when the ball is fumbled and recovered by Lewin. That sets up perfectly for, guess you know who, Gage on a rampage for another Lewin Tutty. Dunker set the NUIC career rushing touchdown record with 69 after his 3 today. Lewin goes on to win it 46-14 for their 30th consecutive win and 55th in playoff history. Moving on to Boylan, who hosted the reigning 3A state champs IC Catholic. Early in the first, QB Connor Dennis finds one of his favorite targets, the Northern Iowa commit Rashid Johnson, for a first down. They can't get much going after that. Later, they put together some impressive plays to what seems like could be a scoring drive when it's thrown to Santana English, and he gains a few more after the catch. On the same drive, Dennis hands it off to Donovan Hansard for a nice run to put the Titans in scoring position. But right after that, Dennis on the RPO has the blitz coming in hot, so he looks to throw it away when it falls into the hands of a white jersey and ends the hopes of a score on that drive for the Titans. The Knights take over offensively for most of the game. Titans able to get a touchdown, but do fall to IC Catholic 35-7. Heading over to Hononegah with our morning anchor Andy Gannon in the booth right there on the second half. Starting kickoff, Braden Lane recovers, brushes off a tackle, and another finds a wide open left field with some great blockers around him to take it all the way to the house. And as my sports director Michael Tilka would say, get on your horse. This puts the Indians up 31-0. The scoring continues for Hano when Warren connects with Joseph Melker in the end zone, and it was a lot more offensive domination from the Indians for the rest of the game. They would win it 44-0, and they play 7-seed Batvia next week. Let's talk some 8-man football, where the number 6 Marcos take on number 3 Milledgeville early in the first quarter. Direct snap to Polo's Brock Soltow. He takes it up the middle, and he is gone. Try and catch him if you can. A 62-yard touchdown. Marcos up 6-0. Later in the first quarter, Missiles QB Connor Nye runs to his left, then back, running towards the end zone. He's tackled, but reaches the ball over the line. Refs say it's a touchdown. Game tied at 6. Under a minute until halftime, Marco QB Carter Meridian throws a dime to Soltel in the end zone. Marcos advance, winning 28-8 over Milledgeville. Let's see the other scores of teams who traveled around the second round, starting out with Class 4A number 3 seed Dixon, who had a close game with St. Lawrence but couldn't pull out a win. Then in Class 5A, the number 5 ranked Spartans season was ended by another close score of 27-21. An 8-player number 2 Amboy proved why they're number 2 and dominated Flanagan 62-7. The Clippers will visit Polo next week, while the Class 3A number 1 ranked undefeated Byron Tigers did some dominating of their own, winning 56-7. Tigers will go on to host Dupec next week. And finally, Belvedere North won, with Nico Bertolino having 3 touchdowns himself, including a 20-yard interception return to take the lead. They'll play 1 seed Lake Zurich next week.